Good afternoon? Question mark. What's up, Striker Kate? All 8 people in the chat. I know it's Tuesday after a 3-day weekend, and most people, myself included, probably have an insane amount of stuff to get done today, and probably we're not expecting a midday Tuesday live stream because that's not how we usually do things. What's up, Hans? Shalom, brother. Yet and still, here we are. Buckeye, Jen and Steve, Tyler, CB, TMC. I'll see now we're starting to pick up some steam. I just wanted to do some quick Q&A, touch antennas. I've been out of pocket for about 10 days, and I know I had a lot of contact from y'all wondering, is everything okay? Bear, where are you? Are you all right? We're starting to get concerned. Thought you were drinking coffee. I am, Liberty. What's in this cup? Ta-da! So, I figured I'd come on here, clear the air. I am indeed alive. Everything is fine. There's one of my administrators who has work to do, and there's one of my brothers carrying a box on his shoulder. Interesting. So, I'm here. If it's been a while since we've done a YouTube Q&A. We do a lot on Patreon, but the rules are very basic. Very basic. Be respectful. The people in the chat, that's your brother and your sister. Treat them as such. And if you had a bad upbringing and don't really know how to treat a brother or a sister, just with kindness and respect, begin there. And then ask your questions in all caps. If I see them, I'll answer them. If I don't see them, I won't answer them. And if I see them and I don't want to, I won't answer them. The Blue Wretches may answer your questions in the chat as well, so pay attention to that. And there we go. I also want to tell you guys, mountainreadiness.com, Mountain Readiness, READINESS.com, October 20th-ish in that area. And that's in, where the hell is that? Charlotte. It's in the Charlotte area. Harmony, North Carolina. I will be there. Carl from Tactical Rifleman will be there. Angry American will be there. It's a meetup. So we're also doing a VIP dinner for Caleb House. 100% of the proceeds go towards Caleb House. It's $100 a ticket. And then the event tickets for the Mountain Readiness Fallout are like $35 per person. 12 and under are free. So it's a great prepper meetup. It's in Harmony, North Carolina, the weekend of October 20th through the 22nd. I'll be there. What's up, Connor Brown? Where do we go while we wait for Judgment Day? The Redoubt, the Ozarks, Jerusalem, your neighbor's house. That's entirely up to you. When is Judgment Day? I don't know. I get this question a lot. I don't think that we are in end times. I think we might be on the cusp of maybe the birth pangs of end times, but this is not end times. If this is end times, John, he really embellished his story in the book of Revelation. Is Grindstone going to Florida? Cheryl Davis. No, not currently. Grindstone is not going to Florida. Every time we go to Florida, what we've found is that Florida is pretty good at dealing with disasters. And it's a long drive, about 1,100, 1,200 miles for us to get there. And we end up not doing a whole hell of a lot because there's already people there. And Florida, the state of Florida, isn't really interested in playing with us. Now, if we get an overwhelming outpouring of need from Florida, then yes, we will always consider it. But we go where the Spirit leads, and the Spirit's not leading us to Florida right now. How do you handle the rapture crowd? I tell them to read the book of Revelation. Which, by the way, I've read all of on camera on the Bible playlist. So if you're wondering, Bear, but what do you think about Revelation? I've read all of it on camera. Why do you not believe the rapture is biblical? Because I read the Bible, Cheryl Davis, and also researched John Darby. Start with that. There's also there's a pretty good YouTube channel called Religion for Breakfast. You should check out that channel. He's got several videos on the rapture. And, a prophet is not revered in their own country. So don't take my word for it, ever. read the Bible, and maybe go watch the Religion for Breakfast videos and his videos on the rapture. And it's pretty obvious as to where the rapture came from, its doctrines and dogmas. Any thoughts on the emergency broadcast test October the 4th? No. Although the big rumors are right now, by the end of September, we're going to go into lockdown 2.0. We'll see. Y'all might. I won't. Just recently got my Zeet Seat and have been wearing them as often as possible, but how do you wear them with gym shorts during runs or workouts? That's a great question. If your shorts have belt loops, you click them into there. If your shorts don't have belt loops, a lot of times, like, dudes will wear one clipped into their pocket just as a remembrance. Any suggestions for a good wood stove on a budget? What's up, living off grid? No, I don't have any suggestions. Praise Yah, all the wood stoves that we need, we had when we moved in. So, I mean, when we die, said LB, in between now and end times, you go into a holding cell. You are resting. Thoughts on where to begin studying dietary law and reality outside of Leviticus 11? That's all you need, Rex S. Is Leviticus 11. It's as simple as that. Do what it says. I heard December for lockdown 2.0. I'm going to do the same thing as last time. Live my life. Exactly. What's up, Carrie Stunnett? Boo-ba-doo-ba-doo, boo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. What's up, the Watchman? Do you think the U.S. is going to have a grid down before the next presidential election? Oh, Cheryl, that's an interesting question. I have no intelligence to lead me to that conclusion. Is it possible? Yes. Damn near everything's possible. Is it probable? I don't have any intel that says that it is probable. What's up, Tommy Guptill? Yo. No question, just bragging. Bought 32 acres in Misery, the Ozarks. Moving Q1 2024. Awesome, Lantern of Liberty. For the ruckus, should we be training on hills? Oh, Haley, you should be training. That's what you should be doing. That's all I can tell you. I just came from a mountainous region, not hills, mountains. And let me say that rucksack gets way heavier when you're on a damn near vertical cliff face. Boo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Any plans for med classes in Puerto Rico? Not at this time, Joel. Not at this time. Shema on gates inside facing or outside? What's up, Goza? Great question. Mine is outward facing. Same thing on the door, outward facing. So anybody who is approaching can see the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Will the solar eclipse bring bad times? You know, Ryan, a lot of people have posited that that's possible, that it is a sign. If you go back to Genesis chapter 1, the moon, the sun, and the stars are for signs and appointed times. So it's entirely possible. When is the next brief on YouTube? Probably tomorrow morning, HIB. Probably. We'll see. Best fixed blade for everyday use that won't break the bank. What's up, Mark O'Connor? Man, the Muras are just for everyday use. They're great. And they're like, what, $15? And if you're not into them, like standard Mura, get a Mura, what's it, the Garberg? It's a pretty good knife for a relatively low price. Also, there's a company called Utica, Utica, Utica Knife Company. I have some of their knives. They're made in Utica, New York, which is the United States, believe it or not. And I have one fixed blade from them that's wicked sharp and quite affordable. So you might check them out as well. Nova represent North Virginia. Oof. My Patreon mug just shipped. Best beverage to fill it with. Ice cubes and whiskey. I have a Mora Bushcraft. It's an awesome knife. It was about $75 hairs. What's up? What praise music do you listen to? OTF Trucker. That's a great question. The praise music that I listen to is your typical stuff that you'll find in church. But when I play drums to it, I put the listen speed to 1.25 or 1.5 and play it at a much faster up tempo with lots of blast beats and fills and double bass. There's also a band called Miqdem, M-I-Q-I-D-E-M, M-I-Q-I-D-E-M. Very good. They're a band from Israel. Very good. Also, you've got your Joshua Aarons of the world out there. You know. Do you consider dogs as a large part of your security? I understand you need people, but if your stations are undermanned, I really like them having a dog. Big fan of band dogs, a.k.a. Mastiff and Pitbull. They're a part of security, but dogs don't replace people. They can augment people for sure, but they don't replace people. They have different skills than people do. Yeah, dogs. A trained dog is definitely part of a security plan. An untrained dog is a liability. Do you have a planisphere? Nope. Unless that's like a body part or something. What's a planisphere? www.google.com. Planisphere. Oh, no, I don't have one of them. What happened to the YouTube briefs on Monday, Wednesday, Friday? I wasn't here, which is makes it very difficult to do the brief when you're not here. Can you tell me where self-defense is held up from a biblical stance? Yeah, Luke 22. He who does not have a sword, sell his cloak and buy one. Bear, have you ever seen an AR-15 bolt break in half? I had it happen to me the other day in the firing line. The bolt? No. That's a shitty bolt. Doobie doobie doo. Yeah, what happened to the YouTube briefs? So I know we have a lot of new people, but I've said this previously, and I guess I'll say it again here. There are a lot of things that vie for my attention, and it may be difficult for y'all to understand, but YouTube is not at the top of the list. Believe it or not, it's not at the top of the list of the things that I have to do. When it comes to restoration of children, top of the list. When it comes to doing dirt work at Caleb House, so that we can build our restoration facility, top of the list. Family, friends, loved ones, top of the list. Talking at this camera that Matt Goza gave me 6 years ago, believe it or not the top of the list. And sometimes there's going to be times where I have to prioritize and execute, and YouTube is not at the top of the list of priorities. As a young person, where should I place my priorities? Maintain your body, get physically fit, make sure you have a relationship with the creator of the universe by the blood of his son. I'd do that. That's the most important prep that you could possibly have. Take care of your body. Take it from a guy who's not old but isn't young either. Taking care of your body is a really good idea because you don't want to sound like a box of breakfast cereal, snap, crackling, and popping every time you get out of bed. Don't get into debt. Debt is a trap, bro. Don't do it. All forms of debt. But I could go to school and learn how to be an underwater basket weaver. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stay away from debt. And prayerfully consider whatever your courses of action might be, because I know for me as a young man, I just did stuff all the time, and I never thought about the second, third, fourth follow-on effects of the actions that I was taking until those follow-on effects bit me in the ass. So a lot of times as a young man, you want to go, 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 and that's great. Ambition and capability at that age are great, but rightly weigh your decisions before you make them. Do you have a weather station set up? Nope. I look up at the sky and go, that looks like rain. Or I walk outside and go, damn, it's hot out today. Or, I might need a hoodie. Bear, does Hami have a YouTube channel for the women? Brandy Ray, she does. Hami Biscuits. She hasn't updated it in 2 years? Something like that. There's a lot of videos on Patreon with my wife, though. I'd say 50% of the Patreon videos include my wife. Where do you think the closest refuge training will get to Florida in the next 18 months? Jupiter Mojo, I have no idea. I'm technically the CEO of Refuge Training, aren't I? Yeah, I'm technically the CEO of Refuge Training. Yeah, probably Pensacola, Oklahoma. But I'm not intimately involved in what they do, where they do it, when they do it. I'm more involved in how they do it, which is legally, morally, ethically, hopefully profitably. Debt equals enslavement. Correct. Yes. Proverbs, the book of Proverbs. Where's my blue book at? Proverbs, chapter 22. Proverbs 22, verse 7. The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is a servant or a slave to the lender. No thanks. I'm good. What solar power generator manufacturers do you recommend? Joe Campy, I have a, what the hell is that thing called? The Jackery 1500. And they sent it to me. I did not buy it. They sent it to me and was like, hey, can you do a review on this? And I was like, hey, cool story, bro. We do T&E first before we talk about it on camera. So I left it outside with the panels hooked up for a year because this is going to come as a surprise to a lot of y'all, but the sun is outside. It's not inside, it's outside. So if you're going to have a solar generator, it needs to be able to work outside. And so I left it outside for a year. It got rained on, sleet, hail, over 100 degrees in the summer. Pine needles had fallen on it. Dogs pissed on it. Backed my truck into it one time, and it still works. Family account. Debt is okay as long as you get a good interest rate. LOL. No, it's not. No, it's not okay. Family account. It is not okay. It's okay if you want to be a slave, then absolutely go for it. Go for it. But you can't bitch about the system out of one corner of your mouth and while you're going and looking for the best interest rates out of the other corner of your mouth. You can't do that. So yeah, the sun is outside and the Jackery, it's so stupid they call them solar generators. It's a battery with a charge controller inside of a box with a handle on it. But anyway, the solar generator portion worked fine. One of our two panels did go down inexplicably. Don't know why. I bought a replacement panel for it. It works fine. So I can't speak to any of the other brands. I can't even speak to any of the other models from Jackery, but the Jackery 1500 has done everything I want it to do for me. My poor attempt at humor. It's okay, family account. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying I in no way even jokingly support debt. And how do I know? Because I was in a mountain of debt and then I crawled out of it. What is your plan for maintaining your vehicle in an SHTF situation long term? Mr. Bob, I don't know. I can barely maintain my vehicle now. I just had to put another transfer case into my truck. That was cool. It's only $5,600 and some odd dollars. Yeah, I don't know. Horses, children, bicycles, wagons, sleds, heavy equipment, boots, feet. 13 women meet here every Tuesday to listen to you go through Revelation, and we all have the scriptures we ordered from you. God bless you, Brother Bear. Amber Mason, bless you. That's awesome. Chainsaw question. Restoring a 2001 Craftsman 46cc. Just replaced the fuel line and filter. Now it bogs down and dies when pulling the trigger. Should I mess with the idle adjustments next? Yeah. Yep. Make sure the so new fuel filter, new hose. That's great. You definitely need to tune the carburetor because you're probably getting a different amount of fuel to the carburetor now than you were before you put the new filter in. Also, make sure the air filter is clean and or replaced. And then, yeah, you 100% need to adjust the carburetor. Quail Daddy said the carb is clogged. There you go. Carrie Stennett said all systems eventually devolve into a man-portable system. Imagine that. That's a good word. If it's not a steel or Husqvarna, is it really a chainsaw? That's a phenomenal question. And now we're getting into brandism and admitting my biases. If it's not a steel, it's not a chainsaw. Husqvarnas are good. They're good saws. I just don't like them as much as steels. The professional Echoes, they're good saws. I still don't like them as much as steels. John Surratt, good saw. Still don't like it as much as steel. Even the Makitas, the professional Makitas, not bad saws. Still don't like them as much as the steel. And I've got the most amount of time, the most system familiarity with steels, predominantly the large steels, like 066 Magnum, 661s, 462s, 500i, 046s, 044s, that stuff. Bear, I haven't seen a TQ check for a long time. Well, scouting in the woods, you just got shot in the left leg. Go. Do it, man. Do it. I guess I'll be shot in the left leg as well. Here I go. I'm bleeding out. Oh, it just so happens that I have a tourniquet from refugemedical.com. Ta-da. And it's a soft T. And I'm not going to freak out because I've got 2 minutes I'd rather do it right in 2 minutes than do it wrong in 30 seconds. I'm going to police my pocket. There's nothing in my pocket. That's good. I'm going to rehook this soft tee. I'm going to pull it towards my center line like that. I'm going to get it nice and tight. I'm going to spin the windlass beyond where it hurts because it should hurt. Then right there, it hurts. It's one turn past bad words. Then we're going to stand up and boom. There it is.
Wow, that's really cool, Bear.
Thanks, guys.
I really like that, Bear. Great crotch shot.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm working on my alternate funding. I'm going to start dancing again. Yeah. Again, yeah. Second stage at the meat locker. And probably Tuesday nights at the cockpit. But I got to get my fireman helmet and my red thong out of storage. Yeah, I said cockpit. It's what the pilot of a plane sits in. I don't know what you're thinking about over there. There you go. Tourniquet check. Gary Bromelin, what's up, bro? You picked an interesting time to walk into the room. Stay kinky, bro. What's your life verse? Exodus 15, chapter 3. Yahweh is a warrior. Yahweh is his name. Palmetto said, I only had a SWAT on me and I applied it while driving. Wow, that sounds like a blast, bro. Palmetto's a special breed, though. Raising children in this crazy adult world. Max, I think raising children in this world very much so is about you knowing what you want them to know and you knowing what your red lines in the sand are, what you will tolerate, what you won't tolerate, and passing down both of those things to your children. Oftentimes, we pass down to them what we consider to be good without necessarily articulating what we consider to be bad and why it's good and why it's bad. So their children. Yeah. Now check this out. During World War I, people were still having babies and raising them. During World War II, people were still having babies and raising them. People in the Babylonian and Assyrian exiles, people were still having babies and raising them. Right? Like famine, plague, disease. Check that out. Exactly, Tedo. Exodus 15:3. Are we not made in his image? Exactly. Precisely. Yahweh is a warrior. Yahweh is his name. It sums up precisely how I think about Yah and the fact that that is his name. Because if it's transliterated into the King James Version, it says the Lord is his name. Negative. The Lord is a title. His name is not the Lord. It's a title. Yahuwah. Yod-He Vav-He. That's his name. When are y'all restocking Pastor Joe's book? I don't know. I don't know if you know this. I've been out of pocket for the last 10 days. Didn't even know we were out. But I will find out. Bear, I have a DIY solar generator idea I would love for you to share with the channel. Less than $350 to make, and it's expandable. Cody Cassidy, put it in the community section of the Bear Independent Patreon page, please. I need more. Thank you. I love it, Quail Daddy. So the other thing, too, is those are printed in batches from the publisher, and so we get them. Yeah, I can't place an order Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for those books. There's not like a warehouse somewhere where it's full of those books. We say, hey, give me another 100 books, and then they print up 100 books, and they send us 100 books. Are you still giving away sheep to tribe? Yes. Why risk raising them only to be enslaved by the system? Because D.L. Hemingway, it's the first command, be fruitful and multiply. Have faith. You'd have faith. You don't think Yah's going to protect your children? If he's not going to protect your children, what is that? Maybe you shouldn't have kids if you don't think that the creator of the universe will protect your children. Mr. Whitetail Fanatic, great question. So if we sin after knowing the truth, our covering is removed. Yes, that's Hebrews 10, verse 26, 10:25. So are we just cut off forever? No, you mikvah, you repent, you teshuvah, turn from your wicked ways, and you turn back to the Father by the blood of the Son. You repent. See, this is modeled in Matthew chapter 18. How many times shall I forgive my brother? 7 times? No, 70 times 7 times. Yeshua is your brother. He's Yah made flesh. He had to become flesh to be a brother so that he could redeem us, because there's a Torah for redemption. So newsflash, you messed up again because you're human. Awesome. Me too. Also human, not AI, not a robot, not lizard people. Human. I make mistakes. Sometimes even, dare I say, knowingly make mistakes, right? Because the flesh is weak. Okay. Teshuvah. Repent. Turn from your wicked ways. Vault 13. I'm a single 21-year-old male. I live in a studio apartment in a city in Tennessee. I work as a welder. Got a bob and 3 months supply on hand. Saving for land. Any other advice? Dude, sounds like you're well on your way. I would definitely practice with that bob, that bug out bag. If you're saving for land, that's awesome. Any other advice? Dude, especially at 21, again, stay out of debt, learn useful skills, take care of your body, learn to rest and be still. That's something I wish I had done a better job of at 21. And now at twice that age, I'm still working really hard to be good at resting and being still. So, hey, Patty Sanchez, shalom. So I would do all of those things. It's great to have the ambition. I would also think about what's your, not even your long-term plan, because it's hard to plan long-term for a lot of people. And, you know, the enemy gets a vote. So just because you wrote it down on paper doesn't mean it's going to shake out that way. But rather than long-term plan, what's your long-term vision? What do you want out of the next 5 years? Where do you want to be in the next 5 years? And then reverse engineer a plan to hit that target, whatever that might be. Understanding that what I want in 5 years can change. And if it changes, cool, pivot. Now, how do I get this new thing that I think I want in 5 years from now? Whatever that might be, a family, land, a better job, a new vehicle, to live in the mountains by yourself. By the way, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm 50-50 on full-blown hermit mode right now. I'm like, there's got to be a ghost town in Wyoming somewhere that I can buy for $12,000 and just have my own one-horse town. So just found out the guys at my church work out 2 times a week and ruck on Sunday mornings. Can't wait. What's up, Drew? That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. 12C conditioning. What's up? Speaking of rucking, what's up, bro? I haven't made any mistakes since the last time I made a mistake. I like that. Not one more inch. How would you go about buying land debt-free as a young adult? Stack your money. That's what I would do. And it's hard, man. I can say that because I've done it. We paid cash for our land. Like it's hard, but that goes back to setting those long-term goals. It's like, I'm going to need $200,000 to buy land. Okay. Well, step 1, stop spending money on shit you don't need. Like, you know, $5 coffees and $6 packs of cigarettes and pizza on Friday night or whatever. And it takes discipline, but so does owning land. So you start to get the reps and sets with the discipline so that when you own the land, you can be a good steward of it. And so there's really only 2 metrics with money. One is spend less and the other is earn more. And so I chose to work 6 days a week when we were murdering our debt and saving for land. And I made an additional, I think it was $38,000. I believe it was $38,000 in a year by working 1 extra day a week doing side work. It was $28,000. It's $28,000. So just shy of $30,000. Cash money, baby. Doing side work an extra day a week. And we murdered our debt. And we saved up money. And Bear, how do you combat laziness? By being disciplined to do stuff. And I think, dare I say, a controlled amount of laziness, a controlled amount is important. Whether it's right. Well, I view it as laziness because I'm a classically diagnosed workaholic type A personality. But like the last hour of your day, like you have permission to chill, homie, but you don't have permission to lay on your ass 6 days a week. How many calories a day is good for planning purposes? Oh, I need new markers, Suds and Fluff. Great question. This dovetails into the food storage quantities, which it scares everybody when I say this, but when it comes to grains, corn, rice, wheat, beans. Yes, I know beans are legumes and not a grain. Just go with a technicality. Scored a point on a technicality. Oh, Bear doesn't know what he's talking about. Internet. Okay, corn, rice, wheat, and beans. What I call grains, you need 750 pounds per person per year because they all average out to about 1,800 calories per pound. So if you take that average 1,800 per pound, multiply it by 750 and divide that by 365.24 days per year, you come out with 3,188.7 something calories per person per day. 3,200 calories per person per day is what is recommended by 15 different studies that I studied for a military-aged male engaged in strenuous activity to not lose muscle mass. 3,200 calories per day. So start there. Vault 13, thank you. On a family more than anything, but things are different these days. You know what I mean. I trust God has good things in store, though. Thank you. You're welcome. Also, so the world will call this manifesting, right? Like you put it out there into the universe, and what you're giving to the universe will give back to you. That sounds kind of, people tell me I'm in a cult because I read the Bible and do what it says. That shit sounds super cultish to me. But here's the thing. If you want a wife, you need to be capable of being a husband. A husband is not just some guy, right? It's somebody who's capable of providing three core things: provision, protection, blessing, and being a conduit from the father to his wife for provision, protection, blessing. Right? You want to be a dad, you have to be capable of being a dad. So if you want a family, you need to identify right now what are the key attributes that you should have as a husband before you are a husband. And then you need to start walking in those key attributes, living that out now, because your vibe attracts your tribe. If you are capable of existing at husband status, you can attract a wife. If you're not capable of operating in husband status, you can attract a wife, or you're not going to attract a very good one, or you're not going to keep the wife that you have for very long. Yo, Bear, howdy, brother. Love and prayers to you and yours. What's up, Carl Ray? Do you have large hard drives for archiving educational informational videos? No, Mr. Bob, I do not. I have institutional knowledge and a tribe full of people. And a library. Thank you. And a librarian. Never been asked. I've been on across the table with Bob. Oh, you being, yeah. What's up, Rachel? I'm at 18 months, but once I get to southeastern Alaska, I'll be able to supplement way more. That's awesome. Boo-ba-doo-ba-doo, 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 boo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Is Bob in here? Just hit a full 1 year supply for my family to the bare standard. Awesome, Stephen. Would you be interested in writing a book? Nathaniel, I'm writing 4 different books in my brain right now. I was away from the camera for 10 days and the Bear Nation lost their shit. Could you imagine if I was writing a book? Do you consider people a liability if they do not garden or farm while having a high value skill? No, Ebor Millie, but you have to have enough people in order to allow specialization of labor for that. And also define gardening. Because if I show you, hey, this is a weed, pull everything that looks like this out of the garden for the next hour, congrats, you're gardening. Now that's not all of the gardening, but that portion right there, or hey, shell peas, congrats, you're gardening. That's part of gardening. Curious about how you would handle needing expirable meds such as insulin in an SHTF situation. Praise Yah, Scotty. I don't need any of those meds, nor do any of us need any of those meds. But the other thing too is during an SHTF situation, dude, that's such a broad statement. Which SHTF situation? The grid went down and it's never coming back. Best of luck. Like, honestly, best of luck. I don't have an answer for you. A hurricane, a 12-volt DC refrigerator powered by solar backup, or a propane generator, or a cooler full of ice, or whatever. So SHTF is a very broad statement. Panamanian paratroopers landed across the street and they're headed this way. Shit. Well, I'm not bringing the 12-volt DC refrigerator with me either, unless it's a vehicle-borne system and it's already in there. Because if they're like 100 yards that way, it's not going to be like, hey, everybody, bug out. Make sure to grab the fridge. You know. Oh, my gosh, Trevin. Did the Bear Brief have a little hiatus? Yes. Yes. I was not here. For 10 days, I was not here.
Look at 12C. See, Bear was gone. Some people freaked out. The rest of us were doing the things.
That's a great word. Where is that? I must find that to read that.
Somebody said, just keep uploading. Just doing the thing.
Hey, what's up, Saws? Beans and elk. It does a body good. Shalom and rest. Gold. Tremendous, brother. I didn't know Saws was in the chat. 12C. Bear was gone. Some people freaked out. The rest of us were doing the things. Yeah, man. What do you think of Invest 95L? Nothing. Never heard about it until just now. Yes, just keep uploading, doing the things so you can write a book. Yeah, books, maybe. I would literally have to relocate to a different part of the country in order to have the time to write a book. And then again, a bunch of y'all would freak out. Looking for a small kit for my moto. Suggestions. SOB kit. Refuge Medical, small of the back kit. Audiobook. That takes even more time because you still got to write the book and then you got to read it as well. The guy said on Friday you wouldn't see him next week, last week. Thanks, Buckshot. Hello, Bear. Have you checked out this new Smith & Wesson? No, I haven't. We have Keltec Sub 2000s. Take Glock mags. Love them. I don't need any other foldy guns. Because the Sub 2000 is a direct blowback 9mm. It has like a spring, a bolt, a barrel, and a trigger housing. It's like, I don't know, 20 total parts. Like, it's very, very basic. AWOL independent. What size quantity of oxygen absorbers do you recommend per 5-gallon bucket? How important is it to use Mylar within the bucket? So, great question. Got a lot of videos on this, but for $5, I will answer your question. So, you don't need Mylar if you're using a food grade bucket. If you aren't using a food grade bucket, you do need Mylar. Now, that's just from a tainting the food standpoint. Mylar also gives you the added benefit if the bucket ever gets compromised, like you leave it outside and there's degradation to the plastic because of UV radiation from the sun, the Mylar will still keep the food fresh even if the bucket gets cracks in it. Or if you fill your storm cellar full of buckets and then it floods, if your food's in Mylar inside of a bucket, the Mylar will keep the food safe even if the bucket gets compromised. So it's just an added layer of protection. But you don't need the Mylar if you're using a food grade bucket. But I do food grade bucket, Mylar, 2,500 cc's of oxygen absorption per 5-gallon bucket. And the numbers vary. It can be anywhere from 1,800 to 2,200, sometimes 2,600 cc's, depending on which type of food that you're putting in buckets. I just do 2,500 because there's an economy of scale there. I get a whole bunch of 2,000 cc oxy absorbers and a whole bunch of 500s, and you throw one of each inside of there, good to go. A little bit more is not going to hurt you. Oh, it needed 1,800, but I put 25. What happens? Nothing. You're good. So food grade bucket, Mylar bag, 2,500 cc's oxygen absorption, then a hammer-on O-ring sealed lid on the bucket. Good to go. Now, and a lot of people use Gamma Seals on their buckets. I have a few buckets with Gamma Seal lids, but that's for stuff that's I'm going to be working out of the bucket Like, oh, we need to open another bucket of rice. The world has ended, and now it's time to eat rice like it's our job. Cool. Gamma seal lid, good to go for that. But for long-term storage, no. Because even though a Gamma seal lid is supposed to be waterproof, scent-proof, airproof, etc., I was just gone for 10 days, and I had a bucket with a Gamma seal lid for reasons, and that lid failed. The seal on that lid failed, and said bucket got filled with water, which was cool because it was inside my rucksack. So it was a nice light rucksack. It's great. Yeah, it's a long story. Can't tell you on camera anyway. It was phenomenal. Sopping wet rucksack with a 7-gallon bucket inside of it, half full of water. It was great. It's a good time. It's a really good time. So, yeah, the best. The best. Bear, are you guys seeing the nationwide food shortage of late? No, not even a little bit. Would pasta hold in a 5-gallon bucket with the oxygen absorber? Yep, it will. You'll get about 20 pounds of pasta in there, not 30 pounds. You get about 30 to 33 pounds of grains in there. Is there a Discord? There is. It's part of the perks of being on Patreon, and JS Badger runs the Bear Independent Discord. How's your back doing, Mr. Bear? Shalom, Sister Brenda. Praise Yah, really good lately. What are some marketing tips, advice for beginners? Nathaniel Bowman, go watch CEO Bear episode for marketing and branding. Go watch that because I don't want to rehash that video over the next 20 minutes here. But there's a CEO Bear playlist. And I literally have a video called Marketing and Branding. Go check it out right now.
It's the Bear Apocalypse. They now named it the Bear Apocalypse.
The post-Bear Apocalypse. I was gone for 10 days, and that was the Bear Apocalypse. Y'all are gonna die in SHTF if you've been if your shit fell apart in the last 10 days because I wasn't on YouTube.
I think they thought it was an indicator, and they were a little confused.
Well, so here's the thing. How many times do I say at the end of the brief, hey, if you're not interested in participating in the value exchange, this is your polite invitation to beat feet, skedaddle, get out of here. Have a blessed day. Shalom. And then people leave. And then I discuss the value exchange. And then I also do show notes at the end. Like, hey, I'm not going to be here for a week to a couple of weeks. Don't freak out. Don't worry about it. And then people are like, oh my gosh, Bear's gone. I'm in the dark. What happened? It's like, well, shit, I guess you should have stuck around for the last 10 minutes of the brief. You would have known what was going on.
I had 32 Instagram messages.
You had 32 Instagram messages?
Bear dead.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I'll show you.
Bug Out Bob had 32 people message him on Instagram wanting to know if I was dead.
Bear dead. Is Bear dead? That was the first one.
I don't know what that says, but nobody asked me.
Hey, Bear, what are you looking forward to most this Sukkot? Be still and know that I am Yah. That's what I'm looking forward to. Please, where can I buy a copy of the scriptures via Bear Independent? Is it Grindstone or a different one? Yeah, grindstoneministries.com. We sell them at our cost there. If you can't afford one, just email us, admin at Grindstone Ministries, and I'll give you one. And I don't need to know why you can't afford one. I just need to know where to send it. That's it.
And if you're like, oh man, I don't want to ask for a free Bible. I did it. It changed my life.
Quail Daddy said, Bob, invite KL to do an across the table, please.
I already did.
He already did. Handled. Make a bearskin rug. Well, don't touch that which is unclean. So awesome, Brenda. Praise Yah. John's out doing the things in Florida. That's awesome. That's awesome. Praise Yah. For your bank line, do you prefer twisted or braided? Twisted works fine. You're watching the cordage video this morning? Twisted works fine. It's more fun to go in person and request a copy. Oh, 12C, don't start that shit. Are Patreon vids downloadable? Hell if I know. I don't know. I shoot them. And then what happens after that with them, I don't know. See, I feel like there's how shall I differentiate? I am invested. I'm emotionally invested in y'all, the Bear Nation. I am not emotionally invested in the mechanisms with which we talk to one another. I don't give a shit about YouTube. Like, I just don't. I'm at that place in my life where I just don't care. Year 6 of having a YouTube channel, meh. Patreon videos, I shoot them, I upload them, and then Monica takes them from there and posts them whenever she feels like, in whatever order she feels like. She knows better than I do. So, like, I care that we get to have conversation like this. This is good. How we have these conversations, the mechanics of it, I don't give two shits. I don't care. Bear Independent. What is the minimum to get together to ask for a class? Man, DL, you should really have 5 to 10 people at a minimum, but you can email sales@refugetraining.com and they can talk you through that process. What are your favorite preparedness and survival type books? This one right here. It's a really good one. So it's the cool thing about this book is like it's the survival of your eternal soul, right? And so like nobody cares what kind of fixed blade knife you have when you read this book, or whether your bank line is twisted or braided, or whether you like a box fire or a TP fire.
That's the ultimate double-edged
It's
sword.
yeah, the ultimate double-edged sword. That's right. And so it's a really good survival book when it comes to the eternal disposition of your soul. Big fan of that. I'm a huge fan of that. Beyond that, like I don't know if I'm mildly autistic or what, but and don't nod your head over there, KL. I don't have favorite books. There's no hierarchy really when it comes to books. There's just books that I found more useful and less useful. It's information. It's like saying, what's your favorite line of code on a website? Don't care. It's information. Like I've read Pastor Joe's books, Resistance Operating Concept by Otto C. Fiala is a good one. Von Dock, Total Resistance is a good one. Asymmetric Warfare. I've read all of the Going Home series by Angry American and Franklin Horton. I've read all of his books, and Lisa Akers. I've read her books and blah, 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 blah. I've read all those books and they're all good. I don't take prepping advice from novels though, and a lot of people miss this, but novels are make-believe. I don't know if you know that, but they're pretend. Like they're super duper pretendo. Like that's not real life. That shit never happened. If you read the Going Home series, very entertaining series of books, but there is no Sarge coming for you when you're stuck on the riverbank with a rubber inflatable boat with machine guns set in the prow of the boat. And they're going to coordinate with you on the ham radio to come pick you up, to take you to a place that you didn't know about so that you'll survive. Like that shit's not happening. Like that's make-believe. Is it great in the book? Yeah. But see, that's the thing. If an author paints themselves into a corner writing a book, they can always make up some more shit to get them out of the corner. It doesn't work that way in real life. So like you need to not paint yourself into a corner in the first place in real life. So entertainment value, yes. Practical applicability, no, not for me. And it doesn't mean that there aren't facets of what's discussed in those books. Again, nuanced conversations, very difficult for a lot of people. Doesn't mean that there isn't truth in the book, but it's not a reference book. It's not a manual. Would I recommend, would you not recommend PJF Survival? Yeah, I do. I recommend PJF. I sell Pastor Joe's book, Survivalist Family, Prepared Americans for a Strong America, refugemedical.com. We sell it.
It's not that you don't believe in prepper books. It's that we own them all.
Okay, so KL just said, it's not that we don't believe in prepper books. We own them all. That's the thing. But I also for example, let's say the Russians invaded. I'm not going to put on Rocky IV to come up with a course of action about how to deal with this Russian invasion, right? Like, I'm not going to be running up and down the mountain, with Carl Weathers in a cabin somewhere. Even though, absolutely, Dolph Lundgren deserved to get his ass kicked in that movie. It's not reference material, is my point. It's entertainment.
Somebody said, got it in my backpack right now. I assume they're talking about Rocky IV, the movie.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Uh-oh. That's so funny.
If you're gonna watch the scene from The Rock. Remember that movie The Rock, where there's nuclear weapons at Alcatraz? Watch the scene in that movie, those where the Navy SEALs are going in there to kill the bad guys, because those were actual Navy SEALs. They still got killed because it's a movie. And also, by BT dubs, you are probably not a Navy SEAL. So you watching that movie to learn anything, probably not going to help you, because SEALs don't have to watch that movie to learn anything from it. But my point is, that's probably the most realistic, operators operationally operating like operators in a movie thing. All the other shit, it's all make believe. It's not reference material. I feel like I'm harping on that today, so I'm gonna shut up. No, I don't. Have I read all the prepper novels? Yeah, I've read a bunch of them. Or do I follow courses of action as advised upon in those books? No, not even a little bit. Are you former military? Nope, just a normal guy. JW.
Yeah. Just a guy.
Just a normal guy.
Just a dude. Don't know shit about fun.
Just a normal guy.
That's a normal guy. That is the-
Act of Valor, also a good movie. But again, made for Hollywood movie. I couldn't balance the big red ball on my nose, so I joined the Army Infantry. Nice, Striker Cade. How do you feel about the lunar calendar? Well, the Father's calendar is a lunar calendar. How do you feel about a solar calendar? Because the Gregorian calendar is a solar calendar. See, people get all wrapped around the axles. They're like, I would never use a lunar calendar. I use the calendar. The sun calendar, you mean? That has 365.24 days in it? The Gregorian calendar based on the sun? I would never do that lunar shit. That's ludicrous. I use the sun calendar. Okay, whatever. Who cares? Yeah.
Literally have no idea what the question
No,
is.
people literally have no idea. They don't know.
Oh, God.
My 18-year-old daughter just joined the Marines. She's in boot camp right now. Well, I pray that Yah keeps her safe. A bear hair, what?
I don't know what that means.
Naturally flow.
What Bible do you read from? This one. The scriptures. I have 14 different translations, and my EDC Bible is the scriptures. Bear, will you give the upcoming feast days, please? Absolutely not, Elizabeth. I will not do it, because I have seen people lose their shit over dates and times for the Moedim. I will not do it. Do your own research. And if you have an issue with that, go to the book of Numbers and look up the second Passover. It's more important that you do it with the right heart set than you do it at the exact prescribed time. And that comes from the creator of the universe, not a Pharisee or a Sadducee. Or the Holy Father. Call no man father but your God in heaven. Okay. Or the Holy Father of the Catholic Church. So. What else? I talked about mountain readiness, right? I did that. Oh. What's up, Rocklick? Thoughts on the complete Jewish Bible translation? I own one. I use it as reference material. Any thoughts on the Nag Hammadi texts? Yeah, read them. But read your Bible first, all of it, front to back, first page to last page. Feast date beef gets intense. Yeah, it does, Sousen. Defiance is another good movie. Yeah, there's some lessons to learn in Defiance. Again, understanding it's Hollywood. When will we get to see another brief/threat matrix? There'll be another brief tomorrow. And threat matrix, hell if I know. Guys, we started the threat matrix when there was like, who's the culprit today? Maybe it's governmental tyranny. Maybe it's economic crisis. All the boxes are checked.
Yeah.
The threat matrix, it's all of it. Okay, the whole thing is full now. So
Check on them. Okay.
the matrix is full. I went to the Army Navy store and bought Guerrilla Warfare and Special Forces Operations Manual. Cool. So our brother Saw talks a lot about this. Like, we don't have soldiers. We're not soldiers. We're people. Soldiers have a very particular set of skills that they're trained for a long time to acquire. They're held to an exacting standard, and they have a pipeline to replace people when they fall in service to their country. You don't have that. I don't have that. So it doesn't mean that there aren't potential lessons in those manuals. But another thing that he points out is how many times is the manual wrong? And you don't know that the manual is wrong because you don't possess any of the skills to discern that the manual is wrong. And the people that wrote the manual were people who were in the rear or back at the Pentagon, not the people who are on the front lines actually doing the things. And so possession does not equate to proficiency. Even if you possess this book, the blue book, possessing the book does not equate to proficiency with it. You have to do it in order to understand it. Understanding, again, like as our brother Saw says, we're not soldiers. We're not the Army. We're not special forces. We're not the Navy, the Marines, or the Air Force. We don't have the funding or the supply chains, the log train that they do. If I were to prioritize Patreon subscriptions, who should I hop on next if I don't want to do several at the moment? Viking Preparedness and Survival Applications, Weapon Systems, and Rex, Taborosaurus Rex. Those are the three channels. I follow lots of channels on Patreon. Those are the three channels that if they have something out today that I'm watching every day. Rex, PJ, Saw, every day. Coincidentally, they are all my brothers, and I do know all of them in person, but they also bring a lot to the table. A lot to the table. That's a good word. Fo said it says a lot that they're your brothers and your friends, and you still subscribe to them on Patreon. What did I do?
You seem to take a pause. You thought you were going back and read that.
No, I'm texting with my wife.
Ah,
Yep. Good afternoon, folks. Loving my Bearfac and now waiting on my surgical bucket. No way I'll be doing surgery, but having the supplies is necessary. Thanks, Robert Bates. Surgical buckets aren't you doing a bucket thing, like a giveaway thing?
You want to know about it?
Yeah, come tell the people. If you'd be so kind.
Shalom, brother Saws. Stop in here. Okay, guys, so it's the month of preparedness. I want to get this right. I don't want to mess it up for you.
Bob, Chief Operating Officer, refugemedical.com.
That is, I have been called such things, and it is lovely to speak with you. So here's how it worked. We made it super easy. We love giveaways. We're giving away a badass bug out bag, right? Built to spec, all of the best toys, all the best gear in there. We're still kind of building it out right now, so we don't want to tease too much. We're going to show you stuff throughout the month. All you got to do, 1 bucket equals 1 entry. You want to get entered 1 million times, buy 1 million buckets. You want to get entered once, buy 1 bucket. You don't want to get entered, don't buy a bucket, right? That's how we're doing it. No expectation to you. We're going to do all the recording and data on our end, and then we select a winner at the end of Preparedness Month. That's what we got.
So any bucket.
Any bucket. Surgical, wound care, baby birthing, and postpartum bucket, they all count.
Cool.
Yeah.
And we got all those buckets in stock.
Yeah, we do.
So, Bob, Adventure Kits shipping soon. We're waiting on the skin staplers to come in, and then once they come in, they will be shipping out. I was talking with Brittany about that this morning. Yeah, and also the Origin kits, we have those in stock, right?
Yeah. And that's still on sale, Hunt 23.
Hunt 23 is the promo code for the Origin kits.
I think we don't have a lot of those left.
We don't have a lot of these left. I'm super surprised by that.
Yeah, so.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I need to go get with my wife on some stuff. Also, Stray Kitten says, watching the ads. YouTube, when I signed into YouTube this morning, they changed something on their live streams where they now require you to make a selection on live stream mid-roll ads.
Really?
And it's not whether or not there will be live stream mid-roll ads. It's how many do you want? And do I want to select the advertisers or should I let them select the advertisers? So that was an odd update to the YouTube platform. So I selected minimal and I selected them pick them because I don't have the time to go through all the advertisers right now. That might change in the future. Patrick McGuire, people freaking out over a 10-day departure. What will they do when you smash the phone with a hammer? That's a great question. Patrick's been here for a hot minute. Apparently, he's heard me say at some point this will all go away. So, but yeah, as far as the ads mid live stream, I have no control over that. That's a YouTube thing. So I've got it set as to be as low impact as possible. I don't know what that equates to because this is the first time I've ever seen it. So. Also, the Refuge Ruckus, you can go to refugeruckus.com. That's live if you want to sign up to come ruck with us, go do the things. It's going to be awesome. But I got to go. So y'all have a blessed day. I'll see you tomorrow for the brief. Just wanted to show my face, let you know I'm alive, hang out, do the things a little bit. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Shalom.